up, JD Gang? It's your girl, JD Diamonds here, back with another video. And today's vlog, or this week's vlog, we are going to be reading Stoner. What? Alright, so I started reading Stoner on last night, and I am about 28 pages in. Okay, remember I told you guys my girl Grace over at GK Reads is the person who put Stoner on my reading list, my to be read list last year. I'm just now getting to this book this year. She read it about this time last year. And I was like, seems cool. This is my first NYRB edition book. NYRB. Which means revitalized American classic, first published in 1967, I think. I don't know, because NYRB don't have it. Oh, yes, they do. They have it in here. First published in 1967. Did I say 67? Because it's not. It's 65. Hold on. First published in, 1965. By John Williams, and it's so far, okay, like I said, page 28. So far, I've gotten so much in the first 28 pages, okay, and honestly, I love this book. Love it. Already, I like the writing style, I like the floppiness, I like the way it looks, and I overall like the story. So right now, we're following this character named, is it John Stoner? Gosh, how do I, is it? Yeah. No, John Williams. William Stoner. It's definitely, I think, a little bit auto-fiction-y. Yeah, William Stoner. On the first page, you're going to know that, of course, William Stoner dies. He is going to pass away, but he's going to live a life. So I think that this book, and I'll have to go back and watch GK Reed's video because I'm a geek like that. So I can kind of compare our notes after I'm done reading. But I think that this book centers around a life, and what is a life, and what constitutes living a quote-unquote good life, a fulfilled life, and just like following your one true love, meaning the work that you do, not the person that you love. And I think it's gonna, I read the foreword, I read the introduction, and it does not spill a lot of the beans, but the introduction, John McGurran does tell some stuff in there that's kind of spoilery, but it's okay. I watched a whole reading vlog, and it just didn't do anything but make me want to read the book. So, like I said, I just think it's about a life, and we're going to follow the life of a man, the life of someone who seemingly goes into college to do one thing.
Good morning, teachers. Happy Tuesday to each of you. That you make your transition now so that the car lines can.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like, it follows a life. And like I said, he seemingly, so really quickly, he goes into college. His dad presents this idea to him about college, about university, and about agriculture, because things are shifting and changing because his parents are farmers. So his dad is like, someone from town told me about this. There's this new program at the school in town, or the neighboring town over. You can go for free. All you have to do is work for room and board type shit. So that's what he ends up doing. And he gets there, and his professor, Archer Sloan, pushes him so hard in his English course. Because, when you go into college, you have to take general study classes before you go into your major courses the final 2 years. And so his university teacher, Professor Archer Sloan, ends up really pushing him to the limit, to the max, in like an intro to English lit class. And that's when he all of a sudden decides that, I really like this. It was speaking on one of William Shakespeare's sonnets. And so anyway, he was just like, I have to study this. I really like this. This is something that I'm interested in. And he takes a complete 180 and decides that he's going to switch his major over, but does not tell his parents until the night of his graduation that he will not be coming back to the farm and he will not be picking up where he left off. And so that's kind of just where I'm at now, honestly. That's exactly where I left off before I decided that I had to get some rest. Okay, that's before I had to get some sleep, some rest. So I hear my kids coming now. I will talk to you guys later when I have more to say. All right, deuces. What is up, vlog? It's your girl Jaded Diamonds here, back with another day for the reading vlog. And I have not read Stoner. Okay, so the last time I talked to you guys about Stoner was Tuesday. Did I pick it up Tuesday night? No, yeah, I picked it up a little bit Tuesday night, but I only started getting details about Stoner and his two closest friends. That's about it. So I don't have any updates. Stoner's two closest friends are Master and Gordon. Masters and Gordon. So anyway, however, I did want to touch on the Argonauts. I think it's so funny that Ben from Ben's Journal, or Ben Journals, him and Renee from So I Read This Book, they both read, they both were buddy reading the Argonauts. Had no clue, had no idea, and I just thought that was so funny because I've had this book since early last month. You guys know I put it out, got it out from the library, and I just wanted to talk about that. I thought that was just so funny. That makes me think of the collective consciousness and how all of the inner thoughts and intermingles and inner meanings are connected to higher being, higher power, solar system, the energy, everything around us is just all connected. Because I just thought that was so random. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get back to this. And another thing about the Argonauts is that, remember I was saying it's just very dense, a very dense read, and I'm reading it extremely slow. I'm kind of tired, if you can't tell. I did my hair last night. That's why I didn't read last night, because I was braiding my hair. But another thing about the Argonauts is that I knew for a fact it didn't need to be like sped read. I knew that. Just something about it gave me just like, you need to read this slow. And so I'm just taking my time with it. And that was a suggestion from Ben. He was just like, if you're going to read the Argonauts, I would say, please take your time, because it's not a speed read. And they read it for Jessica's book stack that has a tiny week or tiny 2 weeks of reading tiny books or something like that. That I knew nothing about. This is a recommendation from Rebecca over at Rebecca Eats Books. I have been following Rebecca from Rebecca Eats Books since her first video. Don't know it. She's a white woman that YouTube suggested to me one day. I wish YouTube would suggest my Booktube videos like they did her, because literally when I stumbled across Rebecca from Rebecca Eats Books, it was like she had no subscribers. I really want to say I was like one of her first subscribers. And I'm serious about that. So that makes me think about little things that I'm noticing about Booktube, and more specifically the literary girls and Booktube. It's a very nuanced community, and I really, really feel like it's a dick riding community. And if you're not continuously and consistently in people's comments, you're not going to get any followers. And it's been bothering me for a while to say, because it's like, I read the same type of stuff. Why are my videos not getting pushed? Why are people not subscribing to my videos? And it's just like, it's so strange. I'm gonna keep making them though, but I just find that specific niche community very nuanced based and very, you can't sit with us, and it very, yeah, like I said, dick riding. If you're not dick riding and talking about how wonderful everyone is, you're not going to get any subscribers from the same community in which you also read, in which you're also an academic, in which you went to school for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like embedded in you. It's not just like a hobby just picked up over time. Although I have been like more focused on reading in the last year and a half, more than ever. Although it's always been a part of me. I always was reading a book a month maybe. But now it's just like more consistently 5 to 7 books a month, and I want to talk about it because I don't have anybody to talk about it with, in my regular life. It's still coming like it's hard, to get community, even with the black girlies. Like, YouTube is such a strange place. It's such a strange place, and people are so performative, and I just watch from the sidelines and I laugh because in all actuality, I really don't care about what a white woman has to say about a book. You know what I'm saying? Her experiences in her daily life have nothing, like they're not in comparison to mine. But I just also think that it's interesting to watch, not that I care. But all right, enough on my little tangent. I am going to read Stoner tonight. I'm going to be reading Stoner all throughout the day if I have time. And I'm going to touch on about 10 pages of this today. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys about it today. Trust me. So, what's up, vlog? I have been a bad vlogger. Today is Monday, October, what's it? Autumn don't know. The 7th? Let me see. The 10th. Today is Monday, October 10th. And of course I didn't upload. I let things catch up too much, and I was not ready to upload my Stoner vlog because I'm only just getting to page 47 in Stoner. And this is what I want to discuss about Stoner, because it is not a heavy read. It's just a very meandering story. It started off fast. We zoomed through a lot of what was going on quickly, from his upbringing to how he got to university, to how he decided to switch majors, to now he is just got his doctorate, and now is becoming an associate professor, taking over one of his mentors' classes, Sloan. So I'm just now getting into that little piece, especially about how the war came and he did not enlist in the army, and he applied to defer because so many rules and laws back then, and he is his family's only child, so that is why only son. So there's like a rule: if you're the only son, you can't really be enlisted, so you have to willingly go. And he made the conscious decision to stay behind and finish and be at school. And there's a part of the book that states specifically that he didn't think too hard about it before making the decision and after. It just was what it was with him, and how he was just like, he wasn't about to give a damn about people judging him for not wanting to go off to the war. And but he was judged. He was judged very harshly and quietly by his colleagues, by his students, and seemingly by his mentor, who basically told him, like, it is his choice, it is his decision. But he was quietly judged because it was just like, you're a young buck, you should have gone off to war. But I think those pieces kind of setting up the book in a way to where it's about to tell you a story of how your life is altered by other people's vision of you and decisions that they make regarding you, and how you have to move forward and push forward and just live through things that are seemingly, I guess, not okay. We also come to a point where one of his friends passes on in the war, and it's just like, it's a lot. So I'm going to read today. Me and Autumn are about to get ready and go to get our eyes checked. I know that my eyesight has gotten worse. I just can tell. Plus, I didn't wear the prescription that I got last year. This prescription here that I'm wearing is like 4 years old, and I got new glasses last year, and I put the prescription in those new glasses, but I never wear those glasses. So it's like now I'm giving them these glasses today because these are my favorite glasses. They're just my favorite. You don't always need new stuff. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when they give me my new prescription, I'm going to leave these glasses with them so they can put new medicine in these. And I brought another pair of my favorite glasses, which are my tortoiseshell Tory Burch glasses. These are also my favorite. And the prescription in these are extremely old. So I'm going to leave both of these with them and let them medicine them up. And hopefully Autumn doesn't need any glasses. I'm hoping that her eyesight is 20/20 vision, because glasses are not it, honey. Like, to depend and rely so heavily on something for your eyesight, no. And of course, my eyesight isn't as terrible, but I am very, very farsighted. Like, I cannot see far off at all, and I have astigmatism. So I mean, I'm nearsighted. I can see near, but I can't see far. So yeah, that's that. That's my little brief update on Stoner. I'm into it. I really am. Last week was just a heavy week, and I had a lot going on. So right now I'm on a vacation. We are on a week-long vacay from work, and so I plan on getting tons and tons of reading done, uninterrupted, relaxing time in my bed, on the couch, wherever, reading. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. And I probably should, honestly, I should finish Stoner today, because I don't have nothing to do. I don't have nothing to do besides go to the eye doctor. Went to the grocery store yesterday, stocked up on food. We ain't got to go nowhere today if we don't want to. So now I'm outside of Starbucks. I'm about to go pick up my mocha. I got a cafe caramel mocha today, trying something different. This is what I used to drink before I was more health conscious. So I'm about to go get that, and then we're gonna head on down the road to the optical boutique, which is our eye doctor. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. What's up, vlog? It's your girl Jaded Diamonds here, back with another day for this reading vlog, where I have been reading, I hate my watch does this, where I have been reading Stoner. And today is Thursday. Today is Thursday, October 13th. And I'm done with Stoner. I finished it. I just finished it, and it ended very, very nicely, very sadly. But I'm smiling because I have some feelings about Stoner. It was good. It was good. It was a life. That's what I will say. Which I knew it. I knew it based off of certain videos that I've watched that weren't spoilery. I knew it was going to be the story of a life. I knew that. And so, yeah, I finished it. I'm going to ponder on my thoughts for an hour or so, and then I'm going to come back with my final thoughts, and then that will be the end of this video. I'm also going to figure out, well, y'all can't see my pal over there. I'm also going to figure out what book I want to read, next, and then we'll talk about that also towards the end. So yeah, I just want to come and say I did finish it today. I did. And I also started the audio book for I'm Thinking of Ending Things, just to give myself a little spookiness. And I also started reading my what looks like it's going to be my one Victober book, which is going to be North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I picked that one because apparently it gives Pride and Prejudice vibes, and Pride and Prejudice is my favorite Jane Austen. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite book. It's my favorite everything. So if North and South is going to be giving anything of the sort, and it's not too long either, I decided to choose that one. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, I'll come back to you guys with my final thoughts a little bit later. What is up, you guys? What's up, Jada Gang? It's your girl Jada Diamonds here. Last day for the Last day for the Stoner reading vlog. All right, as I stated in the last clip, hold on, just got home from breakfast with Autumn. Me and Autumn, we just got home from breakfast with an attempt to try to get manicures and pedicures. First location we went to, I was not digging the vibe. Second location we went to, the Wi-Fi was down. So we'll either try again later or we'll go tomorrow with my mom. So, because my mom wants to go too. Plus we have like an estate sale that we want to go to tomorrow. So we'll just make a girl day of it. Maybe. But yeah, I attempted to actually wrap this vlog up when I was outside waiting for our text message for breakfast, but you know, I didn't like the angle or whatever. So stoner. All right, so you guys, I literally finished this book. Like I said, I finished this book yesterday, and it has really settled in. The way that I feel has settled in, and just like the themes of the story, the characters, and I'm ready to talk about it. So for the most part, we know what Stoner is about. I'm sorry, the glare is really bothering me from my glasses. For the most part, we know the story of Stoner. We know what it's about. I already went over that with you guys, but all in all, let's talk about like the structure of the novel and the plot. All right, so with this story, there's a lot that you can take from it. Stoner as a character, of course, we find out on the first page that this is going to be a story of, or he is going to pass away in the story. And it's basically letting you know, like, he didn't live like this grandiose life. It wasn't just like, oh my gosh, a person that was just like an amazing talent that surpassed everybody in the world, and everybody wanted to know him, and everybody wanted to be his friend. It wasn't that kind of story. Stoner, the character who the story is about, William Stoner, aka Bill, it follows him and his life, and the story is centered around what it is to like live a life, and like who's to say that your life isn't worth telling, just because it's not like super amazing things didn't happen. So the funniest thing is that I ran into somebody yesterday. I was reading at this coffee shop yesterday that like turns into a bar at 4 o'clock. And the bartender just asked me, was like, what are you reading? And I wasn't reading Stoner. I had finished Stoner. And I started, sorry, spoiler, next vlog is going to be covered, or it's going to be about Jonathan Franzen's The Corrections. So I started The Corrections yesterday, and I'm really loving The Corrections. Like, laugh out loud funny. He asked me that, and he was just like, you know, do you have any suggestions for me? And these are the words that he used. He was like, I'm just sick of the monotony of my life, and nothing that I'm trying is working. Maybe I should get into reading. And I just thought that was just like not ironic, because I don't believe in irony. Irony is real, but it wasn't ironic. It was more so collective consciousness. It was like, maybe what I had just finished reading, maybe you could feel it on me. For one, I'm a Black woman who's extremely cultured, who's extremely eccentric, reading in public in Memphis. Like, that don't really happen. That's a juxtaposition, if you will. And so for him to tell me that, and then I suggested to him Stoner, and I told him if I had Stoner with me, I would let you have the book, because it literally is what you need to read to understand that your life is worth living, and that sometimes the mundane is needed. Like, take your life and the things that are going on that are maybe repetitive and mundane and boring, and honestly, like, let that sit with you. Do those boring, repetitive motions and understand that they're okay. Like, it's okay to not be doing anything. And like, FOMO is real. FOMO, if you don't know, is the fear of missing out. It's a real thing. But anyway, going back to the story, it follows the monotony of life, and someone who is not as ambitious as others and who is okay and just fine with doing a regular and having a regular life. Basically, he was okay with all of it from the start of the novel, or it's like chapter 3 and 4, where it's like he didn't enlist in the army when the first war came, and he was okay with that decision, and he was actually like looking at everybody else, watching everyone and feeling everyone judging him, and he was just like, he didn't think twice about not going. He wanted to stay at school, and he wanted to study at school. That's one thing. To his best friend Gordon Finch, going off to the war, surviving, coming back, and being elevated, which his mentor Sloan told him this would happen. He's like, if you go off to war and come back, like, you'll be elevated as a man. Like, your career will be elevated. You'll be offered X, Y, and Z. You'll make more money, because it's just like heroic of you to do something like that. And Stoner just was like, I'm okay with where life takes me. I'm okay with going to school, being regular, being appointed to just a regular professorship, just being a regular day-to-day teacher. He was okay with all of that shit. And that's just like one of the main points and themes of the story. I don't have like a textbook word or textbook language for you guys, but like one of the main themes of this story is just like being okay with just being regular and living a regular life, and not just wanting to be above anybody or being extraordinary or doing extraordinary things. Like, it's just okay with being just a regular person. That's one of the things. And then like I have to go into depth about one of my favorite parts of the novel. And let me tell you, this is how good this book was. I didn't underline anything. I dog-eared a lot, but I wanted to keep on reading. But I wanted to keep reading because it's just like, I didn't want to miss anything. I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to grab my pen, annotate. I didn't want to grab tabs and like stick them, because I know I'm going to read this book again. But one of the main parts of the story that stuck out to me the most was when his daughter Grace was born. And like Grace, he was very, very active in Grace's early childhood, infancy, toddler, to like a regular child, up until she was like 7 or 8 years old. He played a pivotal role in her life because Edith, his wife, sidebar's terrible mother. She was a terrible mother. God awful. But that's another story. That's another subject. But he was so instrumental in her upbringing, and he loved her very much. Okay. And one of the parts that directly related to me was how he started to realize, as she's growing and reading and like being invested in learning, and how dedicated he was to her and watching her grow and him nurturing her. As a father, he was doing everything he was supposed to be doing. And so he took the lessons from being a good dad, and he had to look in the mirror and say, wow, I actually haven't been a good teacher. Because it's like, I don't want my daughter to miss out on anything, and I'm making sure that she's not missing out on anything. I want her to have the best of everything. I want her to be nurtured, and I want her to learn, and I'm putting everything in front of her so that she can learn, but I haven't been doing that with my students. So he took that moment as a father and like brought it back to education and what he needed to be doing for his students at the university. And the reason why that stuck with me is because I've had the same realization, because I'm so serious about my daughter's education. Like, I'm very serious about her learning and knowing things early, because the earlier she gets exposed, the better it's going to be for her as she grows. I realized, like, oh my gosh, I could be doing these certain types of things for my students because they're in the same age group. Or, oh my gosh, the same way that I feel about Autumn, the times that I'm spending in the classroom, I could be doing X, Y, and Z things better. just based off of being a mom. And so that was one like direct correlation between the book and my life. And other things, it's just like, one of the other themes in the story is that shit just doesn't really matter. The things that you deem so serious and so pressing on you in your day-to-day life, other than the monotony, things that stress you out, things that make you sick to your stomach, things that you overly think about, won't even matter towards the end. Because if we get to the end of the story, but well, not even at the end of the story, that theme continues to like circulate or flow within the story as well, because Grace starts to say like, if you read the story, you'll learn about Grace and how Grace has, even though she had the best upbringing ever early, her mom came back in the picture and wanted to like really be a mom. And so she wasn't really being a good mother though. But she was doing her best to spite Stoner. And so Stoner was just like, I know that I can't push too hard because it won't be good for Grace. So let me just let Edith take over. So at one point, Edith takes back over because she's back ready, or she becomes ready to be a mom. And you'll know that he kind of has to take the back seat now, because if he doesn't take the back seat, he knew that shit would get ridiculous, because Edith was like, she was never going to let up. So in that, I forgot why I said that. I forgot what I was doing. I forgot why I brought that up. But in that moment, when Edith takes over, Grace's life takes a different type of turn, which we don't find out how different that turn is until chapters and chapters later, and Grace is like grown up. But as she grows, and when she's like in her latter years as a teenager and into adulthood, she continuously states, it doesn't really matter. Like when questions are asked to her or what she might want, or she just says, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever mom wants, dad, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And so that's true. That's true. Shit just really don't matter. If anything else, this book has taught me, things don't matter. And I knew how much this book sat with me because I was having some thoughts last night before bed. One of my last thoughts that I had before bed was kind of like pressing on me. And I'm like, gosh, why am I continuously thinking about this thing? Like, then I thought about the book and how Stoner made me feel like I could just decide that if it's not suiting me, if it's not making me happy, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like self-worth. Okay, this is another thing, self-worth. Although Stoner was not big on being the best and having the best job and having like the top tier job at the college institution or getting paid the most money. He was not obsessed with things like that. He was fixated more on character. Like he was a character driven guy. He was the quintessential just good dude. Like he's a good dude. Like he was just a good guy. You know what I'm saying? And he prided himself on having good character. And that's another thing that you're going to just learn by reading the story. It's just like, wow, this is just a good dude. Like all around, well-rounded, a good man. Is he flawed? Yes. And towards the end, like the last 40 pages or so, you're going to hit some moments where it gets a little bit existential, which I find at the tender age of 30 to have tons and tons of existential thoughts. So many. Like, I'm not having a crisis. More than anything, it's just like the inevitability of death comes over me. And it's like, I know I'm going to die, but before I die, what am I doing in this life now? How am I living? How can I better my life? How can I better my circumstances and situations just to make me happy? Like, I don't want to be like famous or anything like that. Like, I just want to live a good life and I just want to be happy and I want to be able to take care of my daughter. Those are the things that I'm mostly concerned about and worried about. And that's Stoner. Like I said, he was flawed. We are all flawed as humans with our own free will. We are flawed. But in your flaws, are you still a good person? That's basically what this is about. And I can go on and on and on, but I don't want to go on and on and on. Because if I go on and on, you won't pick up the book. So with that said, I'm wrapping up the vlog. I hope I did a good job of just like talking about my feelings. This was wonderful. This was everything that people said it was going to be. It's not, like I said, a outrageously magnificent story that is going to be gripping from beginning to end, and the idea that it's like some Great Gatsby shit. No, this is very much a quiet story about a man's life from childhood until death, and living a life that was worth living, having a wife, having a daughter, having friends, having a job, how your job goes, how raising your daughter goes, how loving your wife can go right or go left. Like, it's just about that. It's literally things that you go through in life. And I'm sorry to say this, but it matters. It matters. What you go through in life matters before you like are able to like read a book and take away from the book what the book is meant for you to take away from it. And I said that to say, I was watching Alexandra, or Alex, her channel name is Alexandra Rams, and I was watching her, and she was in the middle of reading. It was like a tiny challenge or like Summer Splash or something, and she was reading a wonderful book. She was reading Elena Ferrante's Days of Abandonment, and she was just like, I don't think anything about this book. It's just and this is not to take away from her life experiences, but at 23, when I'm assuming your heart has never truly been broken, you've never been married before, you don't have children, that's too early for you to be reading that book. I'm sorry. Or if anything, she needs to read it again, like after she's been through some shit. I've been through a lot. I've lived a lot. I've lived a life. I don't think I'm better than anybody else, but my experiences in life have definitely molded and shaped me into the type of woman that I am, and I still have a lot of growing to do, but I do believe that I've taken from Stoner what was meant to be taken from Stoner. And there's more that I can say. Like I said, I did a better job, to be quite honest. I did a better job outside of the restaurant. It's just that angle was not flattering, and I'm tired of putting up videos that are not flattering, because it's just like aesthetics do matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, aesthetics matter. I still don't care overall what people think about me, but I do want to present a better vision of myself online. So that's why I'm just like recording it again. But yeah, this book is great. 5 stars. And I think that you should read it. I do. I think that everyone should own a copy of Stoner. I think that it's an amazing book. And yeah. And that's that. I'm just about to cut it off, but let me just say bye. Y'all about to see me in a minute, because I'm about to I got on my new It Girls. They're so cute. And they're comfortable too. But yeah, you're about to see me in a second talk about the new book that I'm reading, and I'm going to be in the same position. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you made it to the end. Love you so much, and I'll see you in my next upload.